Hey there, everybody. I'm Stephanie Clairmont, your digestive health dietitian, and I am here with you for the Relief Report, our show that we hold every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern to really help you overcome and take control and manage those symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's and colitis, and any other digestive health issues, disorders, things that you're dealing with that are causing those awful, uncomfortable, and frustrating symptoms like gas, bloating, discomfort, all the yucky stuff, the digestive stuff that really affects our lives. I'm Stephanie Clairmont, someone who's been diagnosed with IBS and is a registered dietitian 10 years ago, and ever since have been working on my own health to get myself well, get rid of all of those symptoms, and help my clients. So every week I pop in here in your Facebook feed and give you an up-to-date of the research that's out there, what's going on in media, what kind of resources we have, and any kind of changes to the low FODMAP diet. So if you are watching the replay, I want to say thanks for popping in. It is my absolute pleasure to support you in getting to that place where you can be well, my friend. And here's the thing that for so many of us, we just need to hear is you can absolutely get there, okay? I suffered for a few years before I finally found the way, and I really, really believe that you can get to that place where you feel back to normal. So today we have 3 stories that I'm going to talk about with you. The first is about fiber. So we're going to talk about gums, actually, and this has been a hot topic in my practice with my clients for years. So we're going to kind of talk about some gums and how they affect digestive health in a new supplement that was just released, as well as protein and how protein can affect inflammation. And for those with inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's and colitis, inflammation and affecting it is a big deal. So if there are things to help it, then we want to know, as well as low FODMAP French cuisine. So for those of you that are following the low FODMAP, whether you're in the elimination phase or you're in the reintroduction kind of ongoing modified FODMAP diet where you're minimizing those fermentable sugars to help you feel well, then, today's episode and talking more about some of the FODMAP stuff is going to really speak to you. And if you are dealing with digestive health issues, we talk a lot about FODMAPs, but I always encourage you to work with your doctor and an expert dietitian in a program that can support you to cut out FODMAPs, but then add them back in and add on other amazing, incredible digestive strategies to get you well, just like we do in my Clarity program. And so to start with, let's get into prebiotic fiber gum is low in FODMAPs. Now, this to me is an interesting and hot topic, and I'm going to try not to get up on my soapbox today, okay? I'm going to try to, but I'm here to protect you and I from all the information out there. And to be honest, digestive health is getting trendy and hot, and the low FODMAP diet is a trend for 2017 in regards to food and nutrition. And so what we are starting to see as those of us with IBS and digestive health issues is having to really keep our eyes peeled in the world and approach some of these issues with a grain of salt, okay? Just kind of being concerned about ourselves and taking everything with that ability to be mindful and thoughtful about what the recommendations are. So there is a new product line called Fibre Gum that is made from 100% acacia. Oh, darn, I forgot how to say it. It's a tricky word for me. I think it's called acacia gum, and that's a natural gum from the sap of acacia trees. Okay, and it's recently, this fiber gum supplement with this acacia gum been tested for FODMAPs by the FODMAP Friendly Lab. And remember, there's a couple of labs in Australia. One is Monash and one is FODMAP Friendly. They are different and they test foods. And so FODMAP Friendly tested this gum, and it's tested to be low in FODMAP. Okay. And the company says that fiber gum is a proven prebiotic. It has a high digestive tolerance. So I don't know what that means, but it has a high digestive tolerance. It's suitable in the low FODMAP diet. And it's a gut barrier restoration. It can be used for that. Now, here's the thing that we need to walk into this thinking about is that when you look at things in media and stories and new supplements and new advice, we have to kind of look to the research. And this is where a registered dietitian is, that nutrition expert who kind of looks at the evidence and is careful with recommendations, right? And so the thing is we don't have, I don't have those studies in front of me, and I haven't seen those studies that acacia gum or this fiber gum supplement given to these 100 people and not given to these 100 people. These 100 people have better outcomes, meaning these people with inflammatory bowel disease or IBS, have less symptoms or whatever, like that's what we all want, less symptoms, more relief, right? And we don't have that. So I would approach any kind of supplement, any kind of advertisement, any kind of thing you can spend money on with that mindfulness in saying, is this research-based? Is there evidence to support this? How long has it been around? Those kinds of things. And I'm such a proponent of research, as you guys know. It's not all about research, but we need to take that research and then apply it into what we're doing. And that's exactly how I've designed, my client care and the way that I work with people in the Clarity program. And for the last 6 years is we take that evidence, we look at it, and then we apply it into real practical, helpful strategies. So the fiber gum may be beneficial for you, but it may not be. And in my practice with my clients, I found that some people actually feel like gum is a trigger for symptoms and other people are not. It's just like with low FODMAPs. Some people find they can't have these high FODMAP foods, and they can't have these low FODMAP foods, but then other people can have different foods. We're all unique and different. So it's really important that we approach, these kinds of solutions with, our money in our hand, just being really mindful as we approach things that we're going to need to try them. And the real way to get long-term relief is to follow a plan and a system that gives you all the digestive strategies you need to really get your body well, like the Clarity program, or, if there are any other programs, I don't think there are, that really compare to give you that system with all those digestive strategies. So this can be a part of that system to healing, but it's not the only one. Okay, now let's talk about a little bit of a complicated study on a protein-rich diet for IBS. So again, when we're looking at media, we're looking at the research, when we're looking at people reporting on research, we really want to read that report and make sure we're really thoughtful and mindful of how they're giving it to us. So this particular study just came out of Washington University School of Medicine, published in the Journal of Science, about a high protein diet and the inflamed gut. This study firstly was done on mice, and what they found was that mice with healthy guts who had an abundance of a particular bacteria called Lactobacillus reuteri, and Lactobacillus reuteri supports the immune system in mice, that though giving a high protein diet with tryptophan, hold on, let me check. Tryptophan, yes, which is a protein building nutrient. So giving them that protein, that high protein diet actually produced more of these immune cells. And the immune cells are good for our immune system, but can also be related to inflammation to help support and reduce inflammation. But this has been done in mice. This particular bacteria isn't in the same place. And so, well, it is in the same place, it's in the colon, but the protein and the tryptophan, when we digest it, it actually is all eaten up in our small intestine. So that tryptophan doesn't really get to the large intestine, the colon, where it would be doing this work and improving the immune system in humans. So mice studies and human studies are very, very different. They can give us some insight into more research that needs to be done and kind of point us in a path that might lead us to have some good insight to support those of us with digestive health. But we can't take that and say like, okay, I'm going to go eat high protein, low carbohydrate, and it's going to help my inflammation. It's not really the case. So it's an interesting study to report on because we see and we're like, well, this is promising, but the bacteria and the gut and the balance of that bacteria in the gut is different in all humans, and we are different from mice. So that's really, my concern here. So what I want to mention is that there's so much information out there on strategies and things for you to do for gut health, and we want to use the research to guide us in those strategies, but we want to use the research as a whole, as a system, as a plan, not just one study and then say, okay, I'm going to eat high protein. And then that actually does something different. And then you read another study on some kind of prebiotic gum, and then you start taking the gum, and then that does something weird. And then you read another thing and like 3 months from now, and then, you do that thing. Like that is not the path to long-term wellness, and it's not the path to relief in symptoms. And it's kind of messy and complicated and frustrating and disappointing and yucky. So all these things are really cool and important to be a part of a plan, okay? But I think this study to me shows us that we need to be eating balanced, okay? So even if you're not having a ton of carbohydrates, you need to be having enough carbohydrates. And you can get those from different sources besides just starches and breads. You can get them from vegetables and fruits and other things. And having a high protein diet doesn't necessarily, which would mean a low carb diet, doesn't necessarily mean relief. So we need to make sure that currently we are having somewhat of a balanced diet where we have good sources of protein. You're getting enough protein and good amounts of protein as well as those other things when you're planning out your meals. It's exactly why when my members join the Clarity program, they get meal plans every week for 6 weeks and the recipes that go along with them. Because it's hard to just say, okay, I'm going to eat low FODMAP. Okay, I'm going to eat for good digestion. I'm going to start avoiding raw vegetables. I'm going to, limit this, and this. I'm going to, add more of this. And it's hard to kind of figure that out on your own and how that applies. That's why we give recipes. That's why we do meal plans. That's why we kind of help. And I think that that's exactly what you guys need. So, be mindful, look at your plate, look at your meal planning, and ensure that you're getting a balance of macronutrients, meaning carbs, protein, and fat for now. But remember, fat can also be hard to digest, so you want to modify it, okay? Make sure you're not getting a high-fat diet. But a balance of those things are really key to keep your body under control. And hopefully, not hopefully, we will see more and more research coming out that is going to give us more strategies that are going to guide us to improved long-term health, okay? And if you need help, I'm here for you. If you have any questions about the Clarity program or how I work with clients, just, post something right here in the comments or send us a personal message here on the Facebook page. Now, finally, we have a low FODMAP cookbook that is inspired by classical French cuisine, which I think is really cool. So FODMAP Health, Gourmet Food, and French Culture for Low FODMAP and Gluten-Free Lifestyle has partnered. So this is an organization with Monash to release a low FODMAP cookbook. And actually Monash has gone and tested all of the recipes. So there's 60 recipes that are certified low FODMAP by Monash, which is really cool that we're starting to, there's so many recipes out there on Pinterest and on websites. And I look at them and a lot of them I'm very worried about because I think they have ingredients that are good for digestion. So it's cool that we're seeing Monash start to be involved in cookbook development so that those of us who are either eliminating FODMAPs in the elimination phase or are reintroducing FODMAPs kind of ongoing, or just eating well for digestion and minimizing FODMAPs, meaning once you eliminate all of them, you are bringing them back, but you're having small amounts. Low FODMAP meals and recipes that are planned out for us really, really help because we can say, all right, I'm going to start with this recipe, but I'm going to add, apple. Or I'm going to add extra butternut squash. Or I'm going to add mushrooms because now you're bringing FODMAPs back and you're having a little bit in your day, but they're great starting points. So this is fantastic. I think this is really cool. And it's French cuisine. So there's things like souffles and cake and puddings and all kinds of things. Now, of course, still eat well and eat healthy and don't have those treats every day. But I think it's really cool because for so long, we felt so limited and we feel like there's not a lot of choice out there. And so having people that are working really hard on bringing that choice with delicious recipes and, looking at the low FODMAP aspect of it, excuse me, I lost my voice there for a second, is just so useful and so helpful for us. So I haven't seen the book yet, but I thought I'd share that with you because I think it's really encouraging that there are people out there who are doing great work in the digestive space that are helping us to eat really good food despite having to avoid certain ingredients. All right, my friends. Now, that's it for today's Relief Report. You can join me next week on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. I would love to chat with you. I love seeing you when you're here. I love answering all your questions. It's my pleasure to support you and do this. And if you need any more help, if you're looking for that one-to-one support, if you want a program and a step-by-step plan to implement in your life to get you feeling really well, I would love to work with you, my friend, in the Clarity program. You can go to stephanieclairmont.com to learn more. You can send us a message right here on our Facebook page, and I would be happy to serve and support you. Otherwise, I wish you a very lovely day, my friend, a wonderful Wednesday, and I will talk to you next week in another episode of The Relief Report. Bye for now.